Jeffrey Epstein did not look powerful. He was not elected. He was not famous. He did not run a major company. Yet he had private access to powerful men, presidents, billionaires, and royalty. This is not a conspiracy story. It is a documented one. And it begins with a question that still has no clear answer. Who is Jeffrey Epstein? Welcome to Let's Speak Facts. Here we find facts and challenge narratives. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, support us by tapping the subscribe button and come along with us. Let's now take a dive into the early life of Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Edward Epstein was born in 1953 in Brooklyn, New York. He grew up in a middle-class household with no evidence of inherited wealth, no political dynasty, no elite family background. Epstein was intelligent, reportedly very good at math, however, he never completed a college degree. Despite this, in his early 20s, Epstein began teaching at the Dalton School, one of the most elite private schools in Manhattan, New York City. This was Epstein's first major access point to wealth and influence. But this also props up the question, how does a college dropout end up teaching the children of New York's wealthiest families? Through Epstein's position and connections at Dalton, he met influential parents. One of them was Alan Greenberg, CEO of Bear Stearns. Greenberg hired Epstein, promoted him, gave him access to high finance without formal credentials. By the early 1980s, his time at Bear Stearns ended abruptly. He left Bear Stearns under a cloud of unanswered questions. The details remain unclear. After leaving, Epstein claimed to become a private financial advisor. His clients, he said, were billionaires only, people so rich they didn't want their names public. But to this day, no clear explanation exists for how Epstein made his fortune. His wealth cannot be clearly traced. There is no public hedge fund, no audited returns, no transparent client list, no verified billions. Yet Epstein accumulated extraordinary assets, multiple luxury properties, private jets, a private island in the Caribbean. Journalists, investigators, and courts have not fully established a clear source of his fortune. Epstein's lifestyle was designed around access. By the 1990s, Epstein lived like global royalty. His residences hosted politicians, academics, and global elites. Being invited carried prestige. Association implied opportunity. His homes had surveillance cameras, powerful guests, and young girls, many underage. Epstein wasn't just rich. He was connected with politicians, scientists, royalty, tech founders, media elites. The environment around him created silence and control. Epstein was associated with crime. He was accused of sexually exploiting underage girls, often recruiting them under the guise of massages. His pattern was consistent: recruitment, payment, grooming, abuse. Victims described being pressured and intimidated. These accusations spanned years. They were not isolated events. If you have watched this video to this point, please take a moment to support us by clicking on the subscribe button if you are yet to subscribe. In 2005, police in Florida began investigating, and in 2008, Epstein reached a secret plea deal. Despite dozens of alleged victims, he served 13 months. Much of that time was spent outside prison. The deal protected Epstein, his potential co-conspirators, and powerful unnamed individuals. The victims? They were never informed. Years later, the deal was ruled illegal. But by then, the damage was done and the consequences were irreversible. Epstein walked free. His network remained untouched. Epstein associated with many powerful individuals. This does not mean everyone associated with him committed crimes, but it does raise questions. Among those publicly documented as having connections are Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Prince Andrew, Alan Dershowitz, Jean-Luc Brunel, David Copperfield, Michael Jackson, Bill Richardson, Diana Ross, Mick Jagger, Kevin Spacey, Chris Tucker, Sarah Ferguson, Walter Cronkite, Phil Collins, Minnie Driver, Dr. Elie Wiesel, Al Gore, Larry Summers, Noam Chomsky, Stephen Hawking, Naomi Campbell, Glenn Dubin, Les Wexner, Leon Black. Some distanced themselves from him. Some denied knowledge. But one name stands out: Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's closest associate, later convicted of trafficking minors. In 2019, Epstein was arrested again, this time by federal authorities. The charges were severe, the evidence stronger, and the spotlight global. Epstein was placed in federal custody. Weeks later, he was found dead in his cell. For For the first time, it looked like Epstein might actually face justice. But then, just weeks later, Jeffrey Epstein was found dead in his jail cell. The official ruling was suicide. But the public reaction to his death was skepticism, anger, distrust. Reports emerged that in the prison, Epstein was on suicide watch, then removed. Cameras malfunctioned in the prison, and guards reportedly fell asleep. All of these happened at the Metropolitan Correctional Center, New York, one of the most secure detention facilities in America. Investigations found negligence, but no criminal conspiracy. Still, millions remain unconvinced. Because Epstein didn't just die, he took secrets with him. His death ended him, but it did not end the questions. Who financed him? Who protected him? Who else was involved? Who benefited from his silence? No full client list has ever been released. And trust in powerful institutions took another hit. For the victims, justice remains incomplete. For the public, trust was further damaged. Jeffrey Epstein's story is not just about one man and his crimes. It is about power without accountability, money without transparency, and victims whose voices were ignored for decades. Until the full truth is known, Epstein won't just be remembered as a criminal. He'll remain a symbol of how the powerful escape consequences, and systems that failed to stop it. And that's why people still ask, who is Jeffrey Epstein?